Saram to our listeners. Welcome to Saturday News number 818. So this is part 2 of the 3 sessions, and the topic is chanting the divine name. This was recorded on the 28th of March 2020 by The Insights. This is an online masterclass based on Sathya Sai Baba's teachings. So today we'll be hearing discussions among Brother Haris, Rishi, Kirti and Subair. As you know, The Insights is an initiative launched by the young adults of the Sathya Sai organization and is open to all devotees across the globe. This unique spiritual masterclass aims to share the divine, insightful and practical teachings of our Sathya Sai Baba. The online classes cover a broad range of topics and are delivered by speakers who have been personal experiences with Sathya Sai Baba.
Sairam to all of you, offering my most humble pranams at the lotus feet of Bhagavan Baba. Before I start expressing my views, I'd just like to start with a small prayer. Anyatha sharanam nasti Tvameva sharanam mama Tasmat karunya bhavena Raksha Raksha Shri Saishwara Saishwara. I request Swami to speak through me. I've been asked a question of what are the qualities of an ideal bhajan singer. So fortunately, I was blessed enough to be a part of Prashanti Bhajan Mandir group. So I'm sure we have young adults who are attending this session, those who are already a bhajan singers, and also those who wants to become a bhajan singer. So I would correlate with my own experience in Prashanti Nilayam of how I got through into the Mandir Bhajan group and what are all the protocols which we need to have, which we need to follow. So I would just like to correlate that. First thing, to be a bhajan singer, I feel we should have that interest and passion, or you call it as a devotion to Swami. So unless and as Swami says, unless and until we give 100% in anything related to Swami, it goes in vain. Henceforth, interest, passion and the devotion to Swami. So when I joined in Mirpuri College of Music in Prashanti Nilayam, I didn't know anything about Swami. I just started to hear the bhajans only when I joined in Mirpuri College of Music. So the duration of the course in music was 6 years. So the first 2 years, I only kept listening or having an interest, creating interest for myself in the bhajans, even though I was so good at musical aspect. So first thing I did was listening, having interest, passion. So if you ask me the first quality of a bhajan singer, to be an ideal bhajan singer, is to have an interest, passion, devotion, and also a keen listening skills. Like, as you all know, so listening is not about only to become a bhajan singer. It's about, even after you become a singer, we must keep listening to bhajans. As Brother Kirti rightly said, we can hear it anywhere. So we might not be able to sing it anywhere in an open voice, but yeah, we can always hear it. So same like that. I just it created an interest within me when I joined in Prashanti Mirpuri College. So I kept listening. And then what's the next step? The next step was to musically perfect myself. For example, we tell it as raga and tala aspect. Means a pitching sense and a rhythmic sense. These two things. So uh, the next step which I wanted to take was going and just improving my skills to sing with the pitch and rhythm, right? So as you all know, like Swami used to be very particular that the musical aspects of the bhajans should be so good that when a lead singer sings it perfectly, then automatically all of them follow well, all of them connect well with Swami. This is how it happens. So we need to be perfect with ragam and talam aspect. And then the third thing, the lyrical aspect. So we know we have lots of bhajans. Some bhajans are based on the Nama Sankirtan. Some bhajans are based on the lyrical aspect where we are seeking a God's blessings. Sometimes we are pining for Him. So as brothers Kirti sang for us, each and every line of the bhajan which he sang has had its own significance. So for which we should understand the meaning of the bhajan. So the lyrical aspect plays a very important role. So I have one of my personal experience which I would like to share with you of Swami who gives a lot of importance on this lyrical aspect. So as you all, as brothers told, that I studied in Mirpuri College of Music. Once I got opportunity to perform in Kulwant Hall. So I was singing a Carnatic composition called a Telugu kriti called. I'll just sing one line for you. ఎనగాను రామ భజన కన్న మీకిలున్నదా. This is one line of that kriti. So the meaning of this is ఎన్నగాను రామ భజన కన్న మిక్కిల్ ఉన్నదా, which means, is there anything beyond the name or chanting or singing of the name of Lord Rama? So that's the highest thing in devotion. This is what a composer has composed. So when I performed this in front of Swami in Kulant Hall, I sang it this way. So I sang it as Yenaganu Rama Bhajana Kanna Mekil. So I basically splitted Bhajana and Kanna into two parts. So the meaning of Bhajana Kanna is there something which is more than the singing of the name of the Lord? So Swami waited till the Kriti got over, and Swami called me after that Kriti got over, and he just, he has his own ways. He just said, he started with in saying in Telugu, but I'll just tell in English. He said to me that you sang so well, but I have a small correction for you. With his own sweet voice, he just sang it for me. I still remember, it's still on my ears. He just sang Rama Bhajana Kanna Mikil. So he said, Bhajana Kanna is a one word and Mikil Unnada is the other word. So when I say this, we can understand how much importance Swami gives for the lyrical aspect of any bhajans which we sing. This is one of the example. And then coming to the very, very most important part of bhajan, as Kriti Badar rightly said, the bhava. So I spoke about raga, thala. I spoke about the importance of the lyrics. Now comes the bhava. When you come, when I talk about this, I still remember the very first bhajan I sang in Prashanti Mandir Bhajan group. That was the very first bhajan. So I sang Rasavilola Nandalala Radha Madhava Nandalala Nanda Kishora Nandalala Navanita Chora Nandalala. I finished the first speed. Swami was very much seated there. So Swami was just closing his eyes and enjoying the bhajan. So when I was singing first speed and also the second speed, I was only thinking and concentrating about, am I singing in the correct pitch? Am I singing in the correct rhythm? Only the musical aspect of it. I never thought of something called a bhava. So when second speed being sung by me, a thought arose in me and there was a prayer. I thought, Swami, if you really enjoy my singing, you should you must open your eyes and look at me, give an indication that you have accepted my singing. So till I finished the second speed half, Swami never opened his eyes. And when this thought arose in me when I was singing the bhajan that Swami should be happy with me, and I want my prayer was Swami should look at me. So that's where the bhava aspect comes, and you sing with that bhava. Nandalala, Sai Nandalala, Nandalala, Sai Nandalala, Nandalala, Sai Nandalala, Nandalala, Sai Nandalala. When I sang this line, believe me, brothers and sisters, Swami just opened his eyes. He just looked straight into my eyes and smiled at me. So, with this incident, whatever I am narrating, so according to whatever is the aspect of the bhajan which needs to be there for a lead singer, I would just put it in a nutshell of what is needed. First thing, interest, passion, devotion towards Swami. Second thing, keen listening, listen as much as possible. And then the third thing, as I said, the raga, tala, and lyrical aspect, and more importantly, the bhava which we sing plays a very, very important role. And there are incidents when Swami is there in the bhajan hall, when a singer is singing, musically, they are singing so well. You cannot find any fault at them. But then there are times when Swami opens his eyes and expresses his unhappiness towards that singer. What do you think is the reason? It is not anything about musical aspect. It is purely about the bhava or a devotion which we wants us to sing. This is all about the ideal qualities of the bhajan singer, according to my view. Thank you. Over to Subir, brother.
Thank you, Brother Harish. I was just reflecting how fortunate we are that we have the Lord Himself, who comes down on earth to teach us how to sing His own glory. I mean, this hasn't happened in many ages, and we must be truly fortunate that we've got to hear that from you. Thank you so much for sharing your personal experience, and we could listen to you all day long. And I would like to ask Brother Rushi what the next question is. When speaking of bhava, is there only one type of bhava, or does that bhav it does it change with each bhajan? Because you said there are different types of bhajan, and when I sing different types of bhajan, there are different feelings that comes up. So, is there one specific type of bhav, or there are different types of bhav?
So it all depends, brother. It's a wonderful question. It all depends on the singer. See, it depends on the frame of mind that that singer is in. You can sing any bhajan, visualizing that Swami is sitting in front of me and I'm singing. That is one kind of bhava, that you're visualizing Swami and you're just in that bliss, regardless of what you're singing. You're seeing Swami and you're singing. That's one type of bhava. But other ways, if you see, as you rightly put, um, different types of bhajans give a different bhava, and that bhava can do how that bhajan also has to be rendered. For example, you have a very emotional bhajan like Sai Ram Sai Shyam Mere Sai Ram, right? Sai Ram Sai Shyam. You want to render that bhajan with a soft voice, with a very melodious, mellifluous type of voice. So the bhajan, the meaning of that bhajan is, oh Sai Rama, you are mine. Sai Shama, you are mine. Without you, I don't have anyone else. So that gives importance to the lyrics of the bhajan, and also um, you give importance to that bhava through the way the bhajan is rendered. Now let's take, for example, one bhajan, Allahu Akbar, right? We want to praise God. God, there's nothing greater than you. Allahu Akbar. If we sing Allahu Akbar in that fashion, Allahu Akbar, it won't be nice, right? You want to give it that josh, that full blast of energy, because
ये ले
you're
जाओ
in a moment. You want to praise God, right?
Right.
So, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Already bhajan. You want to give it that that energy, and then if you have we have more playful bhajans as well, right? Like Hey Krishna, Hey Krishna. You're asking Swami to come and play with you, dance with you. So the bhava, in one way, yes, it is important to have one kind of bhava to just simply visualize Swami. But when it comes from a technical standpoint, how we're rendering the bhajans, if we have the bhava in us, that if we have the right mindset for each particular bhajan, then the bhava, if we have the right bhava in us, then the rendition of the bhajan will also be done correctly. Back to you, brother.
Thank you, Brother Rushi. This is such an interesting point. And maybe, Brother Kirti, you want to add something on bhava?
Sairam, brother. As Brother Harish and even Brother Rushi was mentioning about this, before that, even Brother, when Harish Brother was telling, so bhajan has one beautiful attraction. So wherever you get to hear bhajan, you will get attracted. So it is very much true in my case, because I came into Swami's fold just because of the bhajan. I was not even knew who is Swami, who is Bhagavan, what is this. I never knew. Because when I was going to my degree, so there was one bhajan mandir, on the way, and each Thursday I used to hear beautiful bhajan. So one day I entered there, and because of bhajan, even my entire family is not into Sai fold till now. But just because of the bhajan, I entered, and now I know the taste of bhajan. Okay, just to continue with some of the things. Actually, even one of my friend was asking. Usually, the people will ask if you sing in rag and tal, whether bhav is important. Yeah, but some people now they are asking if you sing only with bhav, whether rag and tal is important. Yes, that is actually a very difficult question. I never thought of it till now. Very interesting also. Sometimes it happens that you give a lot of bhav and you forget tal and rag also. That happens many times, Many times Swami also says about this. If you want to give a lot of bhav, only give bhav in your house, in front of your altar. What happens is, in bhajan, it is a group singing activity. And we are not going there to show our proficiency, that how nicely we can sing, how nice we can give variations. There are so many people actually. Even we have some discussions during the bhajan sessions. One of the singer is there. He starts the bhajan in such a way, very nice, like Sai Ram bolo, Govinda Naam bolo. He gives very good feel, I know, but the tabla guy is looking at him, where this bhav is taking, and harmonium guy he's entirely stopped. Actually, yes, it is very important to give bhav, but just because that you want to outpour your feeling towards Swami, don't forget about the tal as well as rag. That I wanted to add. And one more thing, I have read somewhere, I think, one experience that one of the senior singer, she used to always give a lot of bhavam, forgetting the talam and ragam. And the complaint went to Swami. And Swami told her directly, if you want to give bhav, sit in front of your altar inside your house and sing. Because when you're singing a group activity, you are not only, you might feel good, but you are removing the blissfulness of others, because there are so many people behind. I don't know what type of problems they have in their houses, what type of problems they are facing in their life. They just come to bhajan center just to listen to you, just to get connected with Bhagavan, and just forget. Is it? So how you are outpouring, even while giving the chorus, as Brother Harish said, they want to get connected. So you cannot remove bliss from their, connectivity. Is it? So one more example I would like to add here is one person actually. He's from Bangalore. Yeah. Actually, they went to Puttaparthi, not because they wanted to go, because they were going as a tour, as a part of plan. They just entered Prashanti Nilayam. During that time, it was around 4:30 or 5 o'clock. The bhajan was going on. The Sai Kulwant Mahal was reverberating with beautiful bhajans. And he just fell for that bhajan. He wanted to just come back. He's basically from somewhere, Tamil Nadu or somewhere. He wanted to just go back to his hometown, just find a bhajan center just for bhajan's sake. Yes, very nicely. He came back from his trip and he found out a beautiful mandir. There he entered and he was waiting bhajans to start. Once the bhajan started, he got irritable just because of the singing sense, and he came out and then he told his friend, it seems, just because of bhajan's sake, I came here. I will never attend the bhajan center now on. So it becomes very important responsibility of a singer, whether you want to give bliss to somebody or make to run away from bhajan center. Sai bhajan, oh my God, I don't want to go to Sai bhajan. So it becomes our utmost responsibility of to sing in a proper way. Yes, bhav, rag, tal, all these things are very, very important. For example, just assume that from Bangalore to Puttaparthi you are traveling in a bus. If you are a bus driver and you are singing with lot of bhav, yes, for example, you can think that your bus is like a rag. Okay, if it is not in tune, then it is utter waste. The second thing is the tal. Just assume that 4 tires are your tal, one tire has a less air or something, so you will get, the bus will not move properly. And if you think, as he said, the meaning is like a road. You don't know the path where to go. Without meaning, if you just think that where you are taking others and where you are going, you don't know. So all three aspects are very, very important when passengers are sitting in your bus. Okay, but if you are singing in your own house and passengers are not there, you sing with whatever rag, whatever tal, and whatever bhav. Just I wanted to add this. Thank you, Brother Subir. Sairam.
Thank you, brother. That was, I think, a very, very important and very practical aspect, because in centers we have this question, Swami asks for bhav, so I'm singing with bhav only. So that was a very, very important one. And
Can I
another
add
time,
something, Subir,
sure,
brother,
brother.
if I
Sure,
can
brother.
interrupt?
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
So, continuing what was the discussion by Kirti, brother, that is where I think all the centers have a bhajan coordinators. And when we talk about bhajan coordinators, it is not like they have been selected just like that. So it is Swami who has chosen them. So henceforth, whoever wants to be a bhajan singer, I think they must like first practice and follow all the aspects which I mentioned earlier, and then approach the bhajan coordinator, sing for them, and then take the necessary feedbacks, whatever is needed, practice accordingly. And then I think, and then one more important aspect, what I am getting in mind, that after you finish singing to them, after you become perfect, we should wait for the opportunity. That is very, very important. Swami says waiting is like a meditation. It is not that you can sing well that immediately you need to just get a chance or an opportunity in front of Swami. So two aspects what I would like to add being a good bhajan singer is, first thing, just take a good feedback from the bhajan coordinators. And the next thing, last but not the least, wait for the opportunity from Swami. Over to Suvir, brother.
Maybe, Rushi, that's such an interesting topic. Maybe you want to add something else?
Sure. Brother Harish, you brought up a wonderful point about practice. I just wanted to reiterate one point that Swami had shared with the Prashanti Bhajan group and that they've shared many times. This importance of practice and this importance of singing in center, and both Brother Kirti and Harish have nicely bifurcated, the difference between singing at home versus singing in the center, right? So when we practice a bhajan that we're going to render in front of a congregation, right? We act, Swami has described this like a pipe system, right? So Swami is the reservoir of love, and everyone else are the receiving taps. The lead bhajan singer is like that conduit which is transferring the water from the reservoir to all the taps. So that singer, the lead singer, has to be pure, not just in terms of singing, but also in terms of their own personal sadhana, they have to be very pure so that the divine love from Swami transfers to all the taps in a pure, unsullied manner. And this practice is also very important. Swami has said to the Prashanti Bhajan group in their interviews, each bhajan should be practiced 100 times. And Swami split that into 4 segments. The first 25 times when we practice a bhajan, we get familiar with the raga and tala aspects of it. The basic structure, the musical structure of the bhajan, we familiarize in the first 25 times. In the next 25 times, we get familiarized with the lyrics and the bhava aspect of the bhajan, what the lyrics actually mean. So already we've covered raga, bhava, tala. Why 50 more times? Why are we practicing 50 more times? The third set of 25 times we practice, we start losing ourselves in that bhajan. We become part of that bhajan becomes a part of us. Next, the last set of 25 times, Swami, who has been listening to you sing this same one bhajan over and over again, 75 times, he himself now starts losing himself in your rendition of this bhajan. And finally, after all of that sadhana and all of that practice just for one bhajan, when that one bhajan is rendered in a congregation, anyone who listens to that bhajan loses themselves in the eternal bliss of Bhagavan Shri Satya Sai Baba. That is the beauty of practicing bhajan. It's a daily sadhana that we can all inculcate.
Very true, brother. Very true. There's one more aspect of I don't know, of our nature. We are not so perfect. Is when you're a really good singer, you don't, I won't say mastered, but you sing very well. You know what's bhav, what's rag, and what's tal. There's another demon that is lurking around in our heart. It's called ego. I'm one of the best singers. So maybe Brother Harish, you could tell us, how do you sing for God? You sing, perfectly, and at the same time, you don't allow the ego to come in. And then maybe Brother Rushi and Brother Kirti can add on that as well.
Okay, dear listeners. So our next session will be hearing on ego, how to get rid of your ego, especially when you are a lead singer. Saram to you all.